gauge is lying to me. I'm staring at Station 47's primary pressure sensor, the Rosemount 3051 we installed last April, the one that cost the company $8,000, and it's showing 24.8 inches of mercury. Should be 29.9 at this elevation. I'm at 5,000 feet, give or take. Casper sits in a bowl between the Laramie Range and the Bighorns. Pressure doesn't just drop 5 inches in. I'm checking my watch, 20 minutes. I tap the gauge. Stupid, I know. Like that's ever fixed anything. But 23 years working pipeline pressure systems, you develop habits. The needle doesn't move. My truck's parked 50 yards away, driver's door still open because I was only supposed to be out here 15 minutes. Just a routine check on the new regulator valve. Bridget texted me at 9:47. She wanted to know if I'd pick up Tyler from basketball practice at 4:30 because her book club moved to tonight and she's hosting, which means she's been cleaning since I left at 6 a.m. and probably hasn't eaten. I texted back yes and forgot about it. That was 40 minutes ago. Now the gauge says 24.1. I've been watching it drop. Not slowly. Not the way pressure systems drift with weather fronts. I'm pulling out my Motorola radio, the company one, not my personal cell. This is a malfunction. Has to be. Station 47 to dispatch. Dale calling in. You getting weird readings on the SCADA system. Static. Then Janine's voice, and she sounds wrong. Too tight. Dale, we're showing. Hold on, Patterson's on the phone with Noah. What's your local reading? 24.1 and dropping. Was 24.8 3 minutes ago. Jesus. Noah's saying, Dale, they're saying it's real. Some kind of atmospheric thing over the whole region. They're calling it a barometric collapse. Patterson's pulling up the map now. I'm walking back to my truck. My toolbox is in the bed, the big husky rolling chest I bought at Home Depot in 2019. Still making payments, but I'm not thinking about tools. I'm thinking about elevation zones. Our pipelines run from 4,800 feet up to 7,200 feet across a 100-mile stretch. Different stations, different pressures, all calibrated for altitude. What's atmospheric thing mean, Janine? I don't know. They said something about, wait, Patterson's waving at me. Dale, they're issuing an emergency alert. You need to seek pressure-stable shelter immediately. What the hell is pressure-stable shelter? They said avoid lowland valleys, and Dale, are you near your truck? I'm getting in now. The seat's hot. It was 64 degrees when I got here. Now it feels like 75. My phone's on the passenger seat. 3 missed calls from Bridget. My stomach does something it shouldn't. What about lowland valleys? They said avoid them. That's all they, hold on, Patterson's saying people are calling in sick. A lot of people. Nosebleeds, headaches, some guy in Midwest said his neighbor collapsed in his driveway and started. Dale, this is crazy, he said the neighbor got back up but he was acting wrong. I'm starting the truck. Tyler's school is up near Casper Mountain, elevation 6,500, maybe 40 minutes from here if I push it. Bridget's at home down in the valley at 4,900 feet. Station 47 sits right in the middle at 5,150. Acting wrong how? I don't know. Patterson's listening to the scanner. Lots of weird calls coming in. Dale, where are you going? Home. My wife and kid. Patterson says stay at current elevation. Don't go up or down. Noah's saying the pressure differential is dangerous between zones. My phone's ringing. Bridget. I'm putting it on speaker while I'm throwing the truck into drive. Dale, something's wrong with Randy next door. He came out of his house and his face was, I don't know how to describe it, swollen. Like he's been in the sun too long, but it's only been an hour since I saw him getting his mail and he was fine. Now he's walking weird and, Dale, he's not responding. I called to him and he just turned and stared at me and his eyes look wrong. There's blood coming from his nose and ears. Bridget, stay inside. Lock the doors. What's happening? I don't know. Some kind of pressure thing. Weather thing. I'm coming home right now. Tyler called me 10 minutes ago from school. He said some of the kids started getting nosebleeds during assembly and the principal sent everyone back to class. But now he's texting me that Mr. Harmon collapsed in the hallway. And Dale, he said Mr. Harmon got back up and attacked the janitor. He's not making sense. He must be. The phone cuts out. Not dropped call. Just dead. I'm looking at the screen, no signal. Full bars 2 seconds ago. Radio's still working. Janine's voice is panicking now. Multiple reports of violent behavior in low elevation zones. Patterson's saying Midwest and Edgerton are reporting. I can't even repeat this, Dale. People are calling and saying their neighbors are attacking them. NOAA's now saying the barometric collapse is causing rapid cellular pressure changes in human tissue. Something about gases in the bloodstream expanding or contracting depending on altitude. Dale, they're comparing it to the bends. Like what happens to divers. I'm doing 70 on Route 220. Should be doing 55. Don't care. What elevation is Midwest? I don't know. Hold on. Computer says 4,800 feet. That's lower than Bridget. She's at 4,900. Tyler's at 6,500. I'm at 5,150 and climbing. The road up to my neighborhood gains about 250 feet. The gauge on my dash, I've got a portable barometer I keep for checking work sites, clipped to my visor, shows 23.7 now. It was 29.9 this morning when I left the house. That's 6 inches of mercury in under 2 hours. Janine, what's the collapse rate? Patterson's saying, oh God, Dale. He's saying NOAA lost contact with their Cheyenne station. Just went dark. He's trying to raise them on backup channels, but something runs across the road. I hit the brakes. Bridget's been on me about my brake pads. The truck pulls left when I stop hard, and I'm skidding, smoking rubber. The thing that ran across wasn't a deer. It was Randy. I know Randy. Randy fam, lives next door to us, works at the Sinclair refinery, bowls in the Monday league with Bridget's cousin. Randy's 52, maybe 5 feet 8 inches, usually wears Carhartt jackets and Broncos caps. Randy just crossed Route 220 at a dead run, naked except for his boxer shorts, and his body was wrong. Bloated, like he'd been dead in water for 3 days. His skin stretched tight and shiny. His face twice its normal size, eyes bulging, mouth hanging open. He didn't look at me, just ran straight across the highway toward the ravine on the west side. I can see him now, scrambling up the rocks. Moving fast. Too fast for someone who looks like that. My hands are shaking on the wheel. Radio. Confusing reports from Mountain View area. Residents at higher elevations reporting people appearing compressed or flattened. Dale, I'm reading this off Patterson's screen. I don't understand it. They're saying high-altitude victims show signs of external pressure trauma, like they've been crushed. Low-altitude victims showing expansion, bloating, tissue rupture. Bridget's at low altitude. Tyler's at high altitude. I'm between them. The portable barometer on my visor shows 23.4. I'm still dropping. I'm taking the turnoff to Cedar Heights, my neighborhood, when I see the second body. Not Randy. Someone else. Woman, maybe 60, lying in the middle of Antelope Drive wearing a floral housecoat. She's swollen, bloated, like Randy was. Her body expanded to maybe 1.5 times normal size, arms thick, legs bowed out. Skin stretched tight and mottled purple. She's wearing the housecoat, but it's torn at the seams from the expansion. I stop the truck 30 feet away. She's moving. Her fingers are twitching. Her head turns toward me, slow, grinding, and I can see her face. Swollen beyond recognition, features pushed out, eyes bulging, mouth hanging open. She makes a sound, wet gurgling. Then she's trying to stand. Can't. Her expanded legs won't support the weight. She's crawling instead, pulling herself with her bloated arms, dragging her swollen torso across the asphalt. Coming toward my truck. I'm reversing, looking at my barometer. 23.1 now. Radio, Dale? Dale, if you're hearing this, Patterson got through to someone at NOAA headquarters in Boulder. They're saying the collapse is accelerating. Something about jet stream disruption over the plains. They're predicting continued rapid pressure drop in valleys, increased pressure in higher elevations. Dale, they're saying human bodies can't adapt fast enough. The pressure differential is, Patterson's reading me the technical stuff, causing dissolved gases in blood and tissue to expand in low-pressure zones or compress in high-pressure zones. It's the bends, but worse. Much worse. And Dale, Janine's voice breaks. The ones who die don't stay dead. Something about the pressure changes affecting brain death. They're still getting signals, still trying to move, but they're not people anymore. Patterson's saying reports from Midwest describe victims attacking anyone near them. Biting. They're calling it a barometric outbreak. I'm back at the Route 220 junction. Need to choose. Left goes down to my house, to Bridget, elevation drops to 4,900. Right and up goes toward Casper Mountain, toward Tyler's school at 6,500. Can't go both directions. My phone's still dead. Radio's crackling with cross traffic now. Other voices. Emergency services, I think. Multiple casualties at Valley View Apartments. Need backup at Hillcrest Elementary. We've got at least 15 down and they're all moving. Do not approach the affected. Repeat, do not. Hillcrest Elementary. That's Tyler's school. I'm going right. Going up. The truck climbs. Route 220 turns into Mountain View Road. Elevation gauge on my GPS says 5,300 feet now. Barometer reads 23.2. Wait, that's higher than 30 seconds ago. I'm gaining elevation and gaining pressure. That makes sense. Higher altitude, atmospheric pressure increases when the collapse is. No, wait, that's backwards. Higher altitude should mean lower pressure normally. But if the collapse is hitting valleys harder, I don't understand this. I know pipeline pressure. Compressed natural gas at 800 psi through steel pipe. I can calculate flow rates and stress loads in my head. This is different. This is air pressure affecting human bodies like we're balloons. 3 miles up Mountain View I see them. A cluster of people standing in the middle of the road. 5, maybe 6. They're not moving right. Stiff. Jerky. Their bodies look compressed, flattened, like someone put them in a vise. One of them used to be wearing a police uniform. I can see the khaki shirt, the badge, but his body's crushed down to maybe 4 feet tall, shoulders and hips spread wide, head pressed between them. He's turning toward my truck sound. They're all turning. I'm not stopping. I'm accelerating, swerving around them onto the shoulder. The truck bounces, suspension's shot. I've been meaning to get that looked at. And I'm fishtailing in the gravel, but I'm through, I'm past them. Rearview mirror shows them following. Not running. Walking. But persistent. Radio. Update from Noah Boulder. They're saying pressure differential now exceeds 10 inches of mercury between valley floors and high elevations. Patterson's explaining it to me. That's like going from sea level to 10,000 feet in an hour. Human bodies can't handle it. The ones dying in valleys are experiencing explosive decompression of tissue. The ones in high elevations are being crushed by increasing atmospheric pressure. And the reanimated are static. Long pause. God help us, they're saying the reanimated bodies fluctuate with local pressure changes. They expand in low pressure, compress in high pressure, but they keep moving. Keep hunting. Patterson just showed me the NOAA map. Dale, the whole Wyoming basin is under this thing. Everything from the Laramie Range to the Bighorns. They're saying it might be a permanent atmospheric event. Some kind of planetary exhale. No, Patterson's correcting me. He's saying they don't know what's causing it. That's just speculation from one of the scientists. Hillcrest Elementary is 2 miles ahead. I'm passing houses I recognize. The Morrison place. Bob Morrison runs the hardware store, sold me the Husky toolbox, gave me 10% off. His front door is open. Someone's lying in the yard. Too far to see details, but they're shaped wrong. The Kaufman house. Julie Kaufman was Bridget's book club. 2 bodies on the driveway, both bloated and swollen, moving slow but moving. One of them might be Julie. Can't tell. The swelling distorts faces. I'm thinking about Bridget down in the valley at 4,900 feet, where the pressure is dropping, where bodies expand and rupture. Tyler's at 6,500 feet, where pressure is increasing, where bodies compress and flatten. I'm at 5,450 now according to GPS barometer says 23.8. Still rising. Hillcrest Elementary comes into view around the bend. The parking lot is full of cars. Parents probably, trying to get their kids. There's movement everywhere. Figures walking between vehicles. Some compressed, flattened, some weight. Some look normal. I'm pulling into the lot. Parking near the main entrance. 3 people are standing by the doors. One of them turns. It's Angela Voss, Tyler's math teacher. She looks compressed, maybe 5 feet tall instead of her normal 5'8", but she's moving purposeful, not the jerky hunting motion I've seen from the others. She sees me. Waves. Actual wave. Deliberate. I'm getting out of the truck. My hands are on the steering wheel, and I'm trying to make them let go. This could be a mistake. She could be. Dale. Her voice is wrong. Compressed. Like speaking through a pillow. Dale Hoffman? Tyler's dad. Angela? You need to get inside. Now. We've got maybe 20 minutes before the pressure differential collapses the building's structural integrity. Patterson from. Do you know Patterson? Emergency Services Coordinator. He called us. Said you were headed this way. Said we should, Dale, your son's alive, but we need to move. I'm out of the truck, running to the entrance. Angela's moving with me, but slower. her compressed body forcing her into a wide-legged gait. What happened to you? I'm at equilibrium with current local pressure, 24.2 inches. Noah's saying if we stay at consistent elevation, we stabilize. It's the ones who move between pressure zones who, Dale, we lost Mr. Harmon and Principal Declan. They went outside trying to get to their cars down in the lower lot. Pressure dropped fast. They expanded and died in about 90 seconds. When they reanimated, they came back toward the school. We had to barricade the lower entrance. Inside the entrance, it's chaos controlled by fear. Teachers hurting students. Someone crying in a classroom. The hallway smells like industrial cleaner and something else. Something organic and wrong. Blood, maybe. Or worse. Angela's moving fast despite her compressed gait. I'm following. Where's Tyler? Gymnasium. We moved all the kids there. It's the most structurally sound room. Dale, there are 43 students and 6 staff members alive in there. We've been monitoring the barometer. The pressure's still climbing. We're at 24.2 now. When it hits 25.0, Noah's saying this elevation will be unsustainable for uncompressed humans. What does that mean? It means we're all going to look like me soon. Or die. Those are the options. Footsteps behind us. I'm turning. 3 people, students, teenagers, all compressed and flattened but moving coordinated, are walking down the hallway from the gymnasium. They're stable, Angela says. Early adapters. They compressed when the pressure spiked 2 hours ago. Painful but survivable. They're helping us monitor the younger kids. We're at the gym doors. Inside I can hear voices. Kids crying. Tyler's voice. I know my son's voice, calling out something about the barometer reading. Dale. Angela's hand on my arm. Her fingers short and thick from compression. Noah's saying the collapse is going to continue. Valleys will keep dropping pressure. Mountains will keep gaining. There's no safe elevation anymore. Not permanently. We're all going to have to choose, adapt to where we are, or die trying to reach somewhere else. I'm thinking about Bridget. 4,900 feet. Pressure dropping. Tyler's sitting against the far wall of the gymnasium with 11 other kids. He sees me and stands up, too fast, stumbles, catches himself on the bleachers, and I'm across the gym floor in seconds. Dad, I thought. Mom's not answering her phone and the landline's dead and... I know. I'm here. You're okay? He's not okay. His nose bled recently, dried blood under his nostrils, on his Casper Douglas high t-shirt. His left eye is bloodshot, but he's standing, moving normal, not compressed like Angela. Some of the kids aren't doing good. Tyler's voice is shaking. Megan Cordell started bleeding from her ears during second period. Then Mr. Harmon fell down in the hallway, and when he got back up he wasn't. Dad, he tried to bite Mrs. Patterson. She's the art teacher, not related to the emergency services guy. We had to lock him out, and he kept hitting the door until they broke. But he kept hitting. I'm pulling him close. He smells like teenage sweat and the Irish Spring soap Bridget buys in bulk from Costco. Normal smells. Human smells. We're going to figure this out. Mom's at home, right? Down in the valley? I don't answer. Can't. Angela's behind me. Dale, we need to talk. There's a situation. She leads me to the corner where 6 adults are standing around a laptop. I recognize 2 of them, Coach Henderson and Mrs. Patterson, the art teacher, both looking normal still. The other 4 are compressed to varying degrees. One man, maybe 40, looks like he's been flattened to 4.5 feet tall. The laptop shows a map. Wyoming Basin. Color-coded elevation zones. Red for low, blue for high. This is real-time NOAA data, Angela says. Patterson, the emergency services Patterson, is feeding it to us through a satellite link. Regular internet's down. Cell towers too. But he's got emergency channels. Dale, look at the pressure readings. She points to numbers overlaid on the map. Valley floors, 4,500 to 5,000 feet, showing 21.8 inches of mercury and dropping. Mid-elevations, 5,000 to 6,000 feet, showing 23.5 to 24.0. High elevations, 6,000 to 7,500 feet, showing 25.2 to 26.8 and climbing. Your house is here. Angela taps the screen. Red zone, 4,900 feet. Current pressure 21.4. That's 8 inches below normal. 8 inches. I'm doing the math in my head, equivalent to being at 12,000 feet altitude. Your blood starts to boil at that pressure. Dissolved gases expand. Tissue ruptures. Your wife, Bridget, right? Is she home? I don't know. Can't reach her. Can Patterson? He tried. Landlines in the valley are dead. Emergency services sent a unit to check on valley residents 2 hours ago. They didn't come back. Patterson's saying we have to assume anyone below 5,200 feet is either dead or reanimated. Dale, I'm sorry. Coach Henderson speaks up. His voice is rough. My wife's in Midwest. 4,800 feet. I know she's gone. I've accepted it. You need to focus on your son. He's alive. He's here. I'm looking at the map. At the red zone where my house sits. Where Bridget was 3 hours ago cleaning for book club. Probably making that lemon pound cake she does. Probably worrying about whether she bought enough wine. Patterson's sending through a message, Angela says, looking at new text on the laptop. He says, oh God. He says NOAA's data shows the pressure collapse is accelerating. They're now predicting valley floors will hit 18.0 inches by sunset. That's death, the flattened man says. His voice is compressed, distorted. Anything below 20.0 is incompatible with human tissue survival. Even the reanimated will rupture. And high elevations. I'm asking, but I don't want the answer. Casper Mountain Peak is reading 27.5 right now. NOAA's predicting 29.0 by tonight. That's crushing pressure. Anyone not already adapted will, Dale, their bodies will collapse. Bones will break. Organs will compress. Tyler's still across the gym. He's looking at me. He knows something's wrong. What about here? I'm pointing at the school on the map. 6,500 feet. 25.4 right now. We're in the transition zone. Some of us are adapting. Angela gestures to her compressed body. And some aren't. The kids have been more resilient. Younger, more flexible tissue. But we're running out of time. Patterson says by tonight this elevation will require full compression to survive. Anyone not compressed will die. So we stay. We compress. We adapt. That's one option. Coach Henderson is looking at me hard. But Patterson sent another message. He says there's a pressure equilibrium zone, right around 5,800 feet, where the collapse and the surge meet. It's unstable, moving, fluctuating, but right now it's stable enough that normal humans can survive there. No compression, no expansion. Just normal. I'm staring at the map. The equilibrium zone is a thin yellow band running north-south through the basin, maybe 2 miles wide. It passes about 8 miles west of here. How long will it stay stable? Patterson doesn't know. NOAA's saying it could last days, or it could collapse in hours. But it's our best chance. We can take the kids there, wait for whatever comes next. Rescue. Federal response. Something. Or we stay here, Angela says. We adapt to high pressure. We compress. We survive that way. Different but alive. Mrs. Patterson, the art teacher, speaks for the first time. My daughter's in Gillette. 4,500 feet. I know she's gone. I know it. But I keep thinking, what if she's not? What if there's a chance? If I go down there, down to the valleys, I'll expand. I'll die. But what if? You'll die, Coach Henderson says flat. That's not a choice. That's suicide. Maybe. Mrs. Patterson's crying. But she's my daughter. I'm thinking about Bridget. About our house at 4,900 feet. About the 21.4 inches of pressure that means her blood vessels have ruptured. Her lungs have expanded beyond capacity. Her tissues have torn apart at the cellular level. About whether she's dead or reanimated. About whether there's any difference. Tyler's walking over. Dad, what's happening? We need to make a decision, Angela says. The bus is fueled. We can take everyone to the equilibrium zone. 8 miles. 30 minutes if we drive fast. Or we can stay here, adapt to the pressure, and hope. Hope for what? Coach Henderson. Hope this gets better? Patterson says NOAA has no idea what's causing this. No idea how to stop it. This could be permanent. The new normal. Wyoming's done. Everyone here is either dead, dying, or transformed. We adapt or we move. Moving means leaving people behind, Mrs. Patterson says quiet. My daughter, Dale's wife, everyone in the valleys. If we go to the equilibrium zone, we're abandoning them. They're already gone. Coach Henderson again. You don't know that. Yes, I do. So does Patterson. So does NOAA. They're just not saying it on the official channels. But Dale, he's looking at me now. Your wife is gone. I'm sorry. My wife is gone. Mrs. Patterson's daughter is gone. Everyone below 5,200 feet is gone. We save who we can save. That means the kids. That means getting to stable ground. Tyler's next to me now. He heard. His face is white. Mom's not, Dad, she's not. I don't know what to say. Angela's checking the laptop. Patterson's sending another update. He says they've been monitoring this event since yesterday. Since before it started. NOAA had predictive models showing atmospheric instability over Wyoming. They knew something was coming. They just didn't know how bad it would be. They knew. My voice sounds wrong. They knew and they didn't evacuate? Didn't warn anyone? Patterson says the models showed a 5% chance of significant barometric disruption. They thought it would be a storm system. Just weather. They didn't realize until the collapse started that it was this. 5%. They gambled with those odds. Gambled with Bridget. With Tyler. With everyone. What's Patterson saying now? Coach Henderson asks. Angela's reading. He's saying emergency services is evacuating Casper proper. Moving to the equilibrium zone. Setting up temporary shelters. He wants us to bring the kids. Says we have a 2-hour window before the school's elevation becomes unsustainable. 2 hours. I'm looking at Tyler. At the other kids. At Angela and Coach Henderson and Mrs. Patterson. At the map showing my house in the red zone. Dad. Tyler's voice is breaking. We have to try. We have to go check on Mom. Right? We can't leave her. Your dad needs to decide, Angela says soft. We all do. Stay here and compress. Go to the equilibrium zone and hope it holds. Or, she doesn't finish. Doesn't need to. Or go down into the valleys and die looking for people who are already gone. The bus is a Bluebird from 2015. I know because I inspected its propane conversion system 2 years ago for the school district. The fuel gauge shows 3/4 full. Enough to get to the equilibrium zone. Not enough to get there and down to the valley and back. Not enough for what Tyler's asking. We check on Mom first. Then we go to the safe zone. Dad, please. It's only, 20 minutes down to the house. We can check. We can see if she's okay. I'm behind the wheel. Angela's in the passenger seat. Coach Henderson's loading kids into the back. 43 students, 6 staff members including the compressed ones. All of them carrying whatever they grabbed from classrooms. Backpacks, water bottles. One kid's clutching a basketball. My portable barometer on the dash shows 25.1 inches. We're at 6,500 feet. The equilibrium zone at 5,800 feet should be around 24.0 inches. My house at 4,900 feet is, I checked the laptop before we loaded up, now reading 20.8 inches and dropping. 20 minutes down. Tyler's right about the time. But it's not just time. If we go down there, we die. I'm saying it to the windshield, not to him. The pressure drops that fast, our bodies can't handle it. We'll expand. You've seen what happens. So we stay in the truck. We don't get out. We just look. See if there's any sign. Angela's checking the laptop balanced on her compressed legs. Patterson's updating the map. Dale, the valley pressure is now 20.3 at your house coordinates. I know what it is. Equivalent to 14,000 feet altitude. Tissue rupture. Blood boiling. Death in under 5 minutes for anyone not already adapted. And you can't adapt to expansion. You just die. The compressed people, Angela, the 4 staff members, 3 students who transformed early, they could go down there. Their bodies are already compressed. The low pressure would expand them back toward normal. But normal humans? Tyler? Me? We go down there, we're dead. What about the reanimated? Tyler's voice from behind me. Could Mom be one of them? Could she have survived as one of them? I'm starting the bus. The engine turns over. That propane conversion worked well, smooth ignition, and I'm pulling out of the parking lot, heading west, toward the equilibrium zone, away from my house. Dad, you're going the wrong way. I'm going toward the safe zone. No, we have to check on Mom first. We have to, Dad, stop the bus. Tyler, stop the fucking bus. I've never heard him swear at me. 14 years old, good kid, plays basketball, gets BS and CS, wants to study engineering like his old man. Never swears, never yells. He's standing now, coming up the aisle. Angela's turning in her compressed body, trying to say something, but Tyler's not listening. We are not leaving Mom. We're not. We go check on her, and then we go to the safe zone. That's what we do. That's what you would do if it was me down there instead of her. He's right. If Tyler was in the valley and Bridget was here, I'd go down there. I'd die trying. But he's not in the valley. He's here. He's alive. And Bridget, your mother is gone. You don't know that. Yes, I do. The pressure readings. Fuck the pressure readings. We go check. Now. Coach Henderson's voice from the back. Kid, your dad's making the right call. I know it's hard. I know. You don't know anything about my mom. Nobody here does. Dad, I'm not asking. Turn the bus around, or I'm getting off and walking down there myself. I'm looking at him in the rearview mirror. His face is red, tears running, nose bleeding again from the pressure changes. He means it. He'll walk. Angela's pulling up something on the laptop. Dale, there's a compromise. Maybe. Patterson's showing. There's a ridge line that runs along 5,400 feet. Northern edge of your subdivision. You could drive to there, stay at that elevation, and look down into the valley. See your house from a distance. You wouldn't have to descend into the danger zone. How far? 12 minutes from here. Then another 20 to the equilibrium zone after. We'd still have time. Tyler's waiting for my answer. I'm thinking about Bridget. About the last time I saw her this morning, 6:15 a.m. She was making coffee in the kitchen wearing her bathrobe with the coffee stain on the sleeve. She keeps saying she'll treat with OxyClean, but never does. I kissed her goodbye. Told her I'd be home by dinner. She said don't forget Tyler's practice pickup. I forgot, until her text at 9:47. I'm turning the bus south, toward the ridge line. Tyler sits back down. The drive takes 14 minutes because I'm going too fast and the bus suspension can't handle Mountain View Road's curves at 50 miles per hour. Kids in back are holding onto seats. One of the compressed students, Jenny Keller, she's in Tyler's grade, is helping steady the younger ones. The portable barometer drops as we descend. 24.8, 24.5, 24.2. We're at the ridge line. I'm pulling onto the shoulder. Elevation sign says 5,380 feet. Barometer says 24.1. We're okay here. For now. The view looks north into the valley. I can see Cedar Heights subdivision spread out below. Antelope Drive. Elkhorn Circle. My house is on Elkhorn, third from the corner. White siding. Black roof. Two-car garage. Tyler's basketball hoop over the driveway that's still got the crack from the freeze-thaw last winter I kept saying I'd fix. I'm pulling out my work binoculars. The Nikon Pro staffs I use for checking pipeline routes. Angela's beside me. Dale, I don't think. I need to see. I'm focusing on my house. The front door is open. That's wrong. Bridget never leaves the front door open. She's paranoid about the heating bill. Someone's in the yard. Moving. I'm adjusting focus. It's Bridget. I know her shape. Her posture. The way she moves. 20 years married, I know my wife. But she's wrong. Swollen. Her body expanded to maybe twice normal size. Her arms thick and distended, skin stretched shiny and tight. Her legs bowed out, each thigh as wide as her torso should be. Her face bloated beyond recognition, features pushed out and distorted, eyes bulging from sockets, mouth hanging open. She's naked, clothes must have torn when she expanded, and her skin is mottled red and purple from subcutaneous hemorrhaging. She's walking. Slow. Jerky. Up Elkhorn Circle toward the ridge line. Toward us. Dad. Tyler's voice. Is that, can I see? I'm lowering the binoculars. Can't give them to him. Can't let him see his mother like that. She's there. She's alive. Let me see. Tyler, she's not in good shape. He's grabbing the binoculars from my hands. Too fast. I can't stop him. He's looking. 5 seconds of silence. Then he's screaming. Not words. Just sound. Primal and breaking and wrong. He drops the binoculars. Stumbles back into the aisle. Falls. Sits there on the floor of the bus, making sounds no 14-year-old should make. Angela's picking up the binoculars. Looking. Her compressed face shows nothing. Or maybe shows everything compressed down into a space too small to read. She's reanimated, Angela says quiet. Expanded but mobile. Dale, she's heading this direction. If she reaches this elevation. I know. If Bridget climbs to 5,380 feet, while her body's adapted to 4,900 foot pressure, she'll compress. Not die, she's already dead, but compress. Her expanded tissues will crush inward. She'll flatten like the others. And she's not alone. Behind her, I can see other shapes moving in the subdivision. Dozens. All expanded. All swollen and distorted. all walking slow and purposeful up the hill, toward higher elevation. Toward us. We need to go, Coach Henderson says from the back. Dale, we need to go right now. I'm looking at Tyler on the floor, at his face, at what I've done to him by bringing him here, at what I've done by letting him see. Dale. Angela's voice is sharp. The pressure's dropping. We're at 23.9 now. We need to get to the equilibrium zone before we descend below safe range. I'm back behind the wheel, starting the engine. Tyler's still on the floor. Jenny Keller and another student, one of the compressed ones, are helping him to a seat. He's not fighting, not doing anything, just sitting there with his eyes closed. We're pulling back onto the road, heading west, 20 minutes to the equilibrium zone. In the side mirror, I can see Bridget still climbing, still walking toward the ridge line we just left, her swollen body moving with mechanical persistence. Her face, what used to be her face, pointing upward, tracking us. Behind her, the rest of the valley reanimated are following. A slow-motion tide of expanded corpses climbing toward higher pressure, toward their own compression and flattening. But they don't stop. They don't understand pressure zones or atmospheric physics or survival. They just move. Tyler hasn't opened his eyes. He's rocking slightly in his seat. Jenny's sitting with him, holding his hand. She's compressed down to maybe 4.5 feet, her features flattened, but her gesture is gentle. Human. How many? Mrs. Patterson asks from the back. How many did you see down there? Hundreds, Angela says. Maybe thousands. The whole subdivision. They're all reanimated, all expanded, all moving. Where are they going? Up. They're all going up. Why? Nobody answers. We don't know. Maybe the reanimated sense the pressure differential and follow it. Maybe they're drawn to higher elevations by instinct. Maybe there's no reason at all. The barometer is reading 23.8 as we descend toward equilibrium. We're 15 minutes out from the safe zone. Patterson's coordinates put it at a plateau between two ridges, flat ground at 5,800 feet, about a mile wide. Stable pressure. For now. Tyler finally opens his eyes. He's looking at me in the rearview mirror. We left her. Tyler. We left Mom. She was right there. Right there. And we left her. She was gone. She was all ready. She was walking. She was moving. She was looking for us. She wasn't. I'm trying to find words. Can't. She wasn't your mother anymore. She looked like Mom. She moved like Mom. We left her and now she's what? Climbing up into high pressure, so she'll get crushed? So she'll flatten like the others? We did that. We left her to that. He's right. We did. I had to choose, I'm saying. You or her. I chose you. I didn't ask you to choose. I know. I didn't want you to choose. I know. I wanted you to save her. I couldn't. Tyler, I couldn't save her. The pressure, her body, she was already dead. She was reanimated. She wasn't. Stop saying that. Stop saying she wasn't Mom. She was Mom. You saw her. You know it was her. I did see her. Through the Nikon Pro staffs at 8x magnification, I saw my wife's swollen face, her distorted features, her bulging eyes. But I also saw the way she moved. The slight limp from her left knee surgery in 2018. The way she held her right arm closer to her body because of the rotator cuff injury from playing tennis with Julie Kaufman. I saw Bridget. What was left of Bridget? What Bridget had become. And I drove away. We're at the equilibrium zone. A plateau between ridges, flat and barren. Emergency services has set up tents, military surplus, probably from the National Guard. There's a dozen vehicles parked in a rough circle. People moving between tents. Some compressed, some normal. All of them refugees. Patterson's there. I recognize him from the one time I met him at a safety seminar. Bruce Patterson, 50-something, usually wears a button-down and khakis, now wearing tactical gear and carrying a radio. He waves us in. I'm parking the bus. Kids are filing out. Staff members helping them. Tyler's last. He's not looking at me. Patterson's at my window. Dale. Good to see you made it. How many? 49 total. Kids and staff. Good. That's good. We've got food and water for maybe 3 days. After that, he shakes his head. We're working on longer-term plans. FEMA's supposed to be sending supplies, but communications are spotty. The whole basin's gone dark. We're running on emergency frequencies only. What's the situation? Bad. Valley floors are at 19.8 inches and still dropping. High elevations are at 28.2 and climbing. The equilibrium zone is holding at 23.9 to 24.1, but NOAA can't say for how long. Could be days, could be hours. We're evacuating everyone we can find to this elevation. So far we've got about 400 people. Maybe 200 more scattered in other equilibrium zones across the basin. And the rest? Patterson's face goes flat. Gone. Dead or reanimated. We estimate 90% casualties in under 6 hours. Dale, Wyoming's finished. This is it. This is what's left. I'm getting off the bus. Tyler's already disappeared into the crowd. I need to find him. Need to. Angela's there. Dale, your son needs time. Let him process. Jenny's with him. She's good with trauma. Dealt with her own when she compressed. I need to talk to him. Not now. Now he needs to hate you. Needs to blame you. Needs something to focus on besides what he saw. Give him that. She's right. But it doesn't help. Patterson's radio crackles. He's listening. His face changes. Shit. NOAA's updating the models. They're saying the equilibrium zone is starting to drift. Pressure's destabilizing. We might have 12 hours here. Maybe less. Then what? Then we move again. Find another stable zone. Or he doesn't finish. Or we choose. Compress and go high. Expand and go low. Adapt or die. There's no saving Bridget. No rescue coming. No solution that brings her back. There's only Tyler. And the choice I made. And the image I can't unsee. My wife's swollen face through binoculars. Her expanded body climbing toward compression. Her reanimated mind tracking us as we drove away. She's still out there. Still climbing. Still following the pressure gradient up toward the mountains. Still looking for us. Day 11 at the equilibrium zone. The plateau's holding at 24.0 inches. Patterson says NOAA's models show it might stay stable for another week. Maybe 2. After that the zone drifts north or the pressure differential collapses entirely, and we're back to choosing, compress high or expand low. There's no third option. Patterson stopped pretending there was on day 3. I'm sitting outside the tent I share with 6 other men. Tyler's in the youth tent, 15 kids under 18, supervised by Angela and Jenny Keller and 2 other compressed staff members. He hasn't spoken to me since the ridge line. 11 days. Not one word. He eats. He helps with camp duties. He talks to other kids. I watch him from a distance doing all of this. Acting normal. Moving through routines. But when I'm near him, his face goes blank. Like I'm not there. Like I'm already dead. Maybe I am. My portable barometer sits on my knee. I check it every 30 minutes. Habit. The reading never changes. 24.0, 24.0, 24.0. But I keep checking. Like if I look away, the number will slip and will start expanding or compressing, and I'll have missed the warning. Patterson's radio came through with FEMA updates yesterday. They're establishing pressure-stable settlements across what used to be Wyoming. 6 zones total. This plateau's one of them. They're shipping in supplies, food, water, medical equipment for treating pressure-related injuries. They're calling it relief. They're not calling it what it is. TRIA, the compressed ones, about a third of the 400 people here now, are starting to talk about going higher. Up into the mountains where pressures hit 29.0 inches and stabilized. They say their bodies adapted once, they can adapt further. They say there's more room up there, fewer people, better long-term survival. They're not wrong. This plateau's crowded. 400 people in a space meant for maybe 50. We're running low on everything. Water's rationed. Food's twice daily meal service. No privacy. No sanitation beyond portable toilets that FEMA dropped off on day 6. This isn't living. This is existing in a space between death zones. Mrs. Patterson, the art teacher, not the coordinator, went down into the valleys on day 7. Said she was going to look for her daughter in Gillette. We tried to stop her. Coach Henderson physically blocked the path. She waited until night and went anyway. Found her body the next morning 2 miles down the slope. Expanded. Ruptured. Dead again. Patterson, the coordinator, went down with 2 compressed volunteers to collect her. Brought back what was left in a tarp. We buried her at the edge of the plateau. No marker. Nothing to say. There are 4 graves now. People who chose descent over existence. Tyler doesn't know I check on Bridget. Every morning before dawn I take my truck. The Ford's parked at the far end of the camp, still has 3/4 tank, and drive up to observation points. Higher elevations where I can see down into the valleys with the Nikon Pro staffs. She's still moving. 12 days of barometric pressure and cellular rupture and reanimation, and she's still walking. Still climbing. Her body compressed now from ascending into higher pressure zones. No longer swollen. Flattened instead. 4 feet tall, maybe less. Features crushed down into her skull. But still moving with that left knee limp. Still holding her right arm close. Still looking up toward the mountains. Toward us. I counted 247 expanded reanimated in the valley visible from Ridge Point observation. They're all climbing. Slow. Relentless. Following pressure gradients up toward zones that will crush them further. I don't know what happens when they reach maximum compression. Patterson says no, it doesn't either. Nobody's gotten close enough to the 29.0-inch zones to document. We're watching Wyoming die in real time and recording pressure readings. Tyler's coming out of the youth tent. He's carrying a water jug, the 5-gallon igloo from the communal supply, heading toward the distribution point. I'm standing up. Want to help him. Want to talk to him. Want to explain again that I chose his life over Bridget's death, and that was the only choice possible. He sees me. Changes direction. Takes a longer route that doesn't pass my tent. Jenny Keller's with him. She's compressed down to about 4 feet now. Adapted to higher pressures during week 1. Her face is flattened, but she's smiling. I think it's a smile, hard to tell with compressed features, and Tyler's responding to something she's saying. Normal interaction. Human connection. He can do that with Jenny. With Angela. With Coach Henderson. With everyone except me. Angela's walking over. She moves different now. The compression changed her gait. Wider stance. Shorter steps. She's carrying a tablet. One of 3 in camp with satellite access to NOAA data feeds. Dale. Patterson wants you to look at something. I'm following her to the command tent. Patterson's there with 4 others. 2 compressed, 2 normal. They're looking at a laptop screen showing the basin map. The color coding's changed since day 1. More red. More blue. Less yellow. The equilibrium zones are shrinking, Patterson says without preamble. NOAA's models show all 6 stable zones will be gone within 3 weeks. We need to make decisions. The compressed ones can move to high-pressure settlements. They'll survive their long term. The uncompressed, Dale, you and your son, and everyone else who hasn't adapted, you've got maybe 2 weeks before you have to choose. Go high and compress or what? Go low and expand and die. NOAA's suggesting a 3rd option. There's a settlement being established in Nebraska. Outside the collapse zone. Normal pressure. 29.9 inches. They're running evacuation convoys. One leaves in 4 days. Space for about 100 people. And the compressed ones? Can't go. Normal pressure would kill them. They've adapted too far. Their bodies need high pressure now to maintain structural integrity. Nebraska's for the uncompressed only. I'm looking at the map. At Nebraska, sitting peaceful and normal at the edge of the disaster zone. At Wyoming's interior, painted in pressured death. What about the valleys? Anyone trying rescue operations? Patterson's face tells me before his words do. There's no one left to rescue. The reanimated count is in the hundreds of thousands. NOAA estimates 94% mortality across the affected basin. The reanimated are mobile but non-responsive. They don't eat, don't sleep, don't communicate. They just move, following pressure gradients. We don't know why. Are they dangerous? Only if you're in their way. They'll push through obstacles, climb over barriers. But they're not actively hunting, not attacking, just migrating, up into the mountains. All of them. Every valley reanimated is heading toward high-pressure zones. Toward where the compressed are planning to settle. Yes. So the compressed are moving into areas that will be flooded with flattened, reanimated corpses. NOAA's aware. They're documenting, learning. This is unprecedented. Planetary-scale barometric collapse over a continental landmass. They don't have protocols. I'm thinking about Bridget climbing, about the hundreds of thousands climbing with her, about what happens when they all reach the mountain peaks at 29.0 inches and beyond. Do they stop? Do they keep climbing? Do they compress down to nothing? I need to tell Tyler about Nebraska. He should know there's an option. You should, Angela says quiet. But Dale, the convoy leaves in 4 days. You need to decide if you're going with or without him. Because if he won't speak to you, won't listen to you, he'll listen. He hasn't for 11 days. He will. He has to. This is survival. But I don't believe it. Tyler's not speaking to me because I chose his survival over everything else. Because I drove away from Bridget, while she climbed toward compression. Because I let him see what she'd become through the Nikon Pro staffs, and that image is burned into his 14-year-old brain forever. I did that. I made that choice. I saved his life and destroyed something in him that might not come back. I'm walking to the youth tent. Tyler's inside with 6 other kids. They're playing cards. Someone brought a deck, regular bicycle playing cards with the faded box. Normal things. Teenage things. He looks up when I enter. His face goes blank. Tyler, we need to talk. He's looking back at his cards. Jenny's sitting next to him. She's touching his arm. Gentle. Compressed fingers on his sleeve. There's an evacuation convoy. Nebraska. 4 days. Normal pressure zone. We can leave. Both of us. Start over somewhere that's not. I'm gesturing around. At the plateau. At the pressure zone. At Wyoming dying. We need to go. You and me. Together. He's not looking at me. Tyler, please. I know you're angry. I know you hate me. I know what I did. But we're alive. You're alive. That's what matters. We can leave this place. We can. You can leave. His voice is flat. First words in 11 days. I'm staying. What? Jenny's staying. Angela's staying. The other compressed are staying. They're going up to the high settlements. I'm going with them. Tyler, you're not compressed. You can't. I will be. Angela says the adaptation process takes about 3 days if you do it gradually. Move to higher pressure zones in stages. Let your body adjust. I start tomorrow. By the time the convoy leaves, I'll be too far along to go back. I'm staring at him. At my son. At his face that's still normal, still uncompressed, still showing the teenage features that look like his mother. Bridget's nose, her eye shape, her stubborn mouth. You'll be compressed. Flattened. Your body will, Tyler. You'll look like Jenny. Like Angela. You'll be 4 feet tall. Your face will. I know. This is permanent. You can't undo this. You choose compression. You choose that forever. I know. So why? Why would you? Because you chose for me once. You chose to drive away from Mom. You chose to save me instead of her. I didn't ask for that choice. I didn't want it. So now I'm choosing. I'm choosing to stay where Mom is. Where she's climbing toward. Where maybe I'll see her again. Even if she's compressed. Even if she's reanimated. She's still out there and I'm staying. She's dead, Tyler. She's not your mother anymore. You keep saying that. You keep saying she's dead, she's gone, she's reanimated, like that changes anything. But I saw her, Dad. I saw her through your binoculars. I saw her face. I saw the way she moved. That was Mom. She was looking for us. She was trying to get to us. And we left her. You left her. You drove away. I had to. I had to save you. I didn't ask you to save me. I asked you to try. To check. To see if she was okay. And you did, and she wasn't, and you drove away anyway. Because you were alive and she was. Don't. Tyler's standing now. His cards scattered. Jenny's standing too, compressed body next to his normal one, her hand still on his arm. Don't explain it again. I know why you did it. I understand. You chose me. But I didn't choose to be chosen. And now I'm choosing different. I'm choosing to compress. I'm choosing to stay in Wyoming where Mom is. Where she's still walking. Where maybe if I'm compressed too, if I'm up in the high zones, maybe I'll find her. Maybe I'll see her. Maybe she'll know me. He's crying. 14 years old and crying, and I can't. I don't know how to. She won't know you. The reanimated don't recognize people. They just move. Patterson says they're not conscious. Not aware. Patterson says. Noah says. Everyone says. But nobody knows. Nobody's close enough to them to know. They're just watching from observation points with binoculars. Recording data. Pressure readings. They're not trying to understand. They're not trying to reach them. But I will. I'll go up there. I'll find Mom. And maybe she'll know me. Maybe some part of her will still be there. Tyler, you're leaving in 4 days. I'm starting compression tomorrow. That's it. That's the conversation. He's walking past me. Out of the tent. Jenny's following him. The other kids are silent. Watching. Judging. They all know what I did. Everyone in camp knows. The man who drove away from his reanimated wife. Who chose his son over impossible rescue. Who did the logical thing. The survival thing. The thing Tyler will hate me for forever. I'm back at my tent. Sitting with the barometer. It reads 24.0. Stable. For now. For days until the Nebraska convoy. Tyler starts compression tomorrow. I'm going to Nebraska alone. I'm going to leave this place and leave my son behind to compress himself down to 4 feet tall and climb into high-pressure zones looking for his mother's flattened, reanimated corpse. I saved his life on day 1. I'm losing him on day 11. The barometer reads 24.0. The equilibrium holds. NOAA's models predict 3 more weeks of stability maybe. Then the zone drifts and everyone here has to move again. Higher or lower. Compress or expand. Adapt or die or leave. I check the barometer every 30 minutes. The reading never changes. I keep checking anyway. Every morning before dawn, I take the truck to observation points and watch Bridget climb. Watch hundreds of thousands of reanimated climb with her. Watch Wyoming's dead migrate toward the mountains. Watch the valleys empty out. Watch the high zones fill with flattened, compressed corpses that still walk, still move, still follow pressure gradients toward zones nobody understands. Tyler's compressing himself to join them. To join her. To become part of Wyoming's reanimated landscape. I'm going to Nebraska. Back to normal pressure. Back to 29.9 inches and weather patterns in life without barometric collapse. I'm going to survive. I'm going to live with what I did. With the choice I made. With Bridget's swollen face through Nikon Pro staffs, her mechanical climbing, her rotator cuff injured arm held close as she followed us up the ridge. With Tyler's scream when he saw her. With his silence afterward. With his choice to compress rather than leave with me. Patterson's right. Wyoming's finished. My family's finished. I'm going to Nebraska in 4 days. The barometer reads 24.0. I keep checking.